Rob Tell on the track. Hop in the whip and I hit these switches. See that chrome suspension. Look at the car, you know who did it. I don't have to mention. They know it's Alex from Hoppos. Custom work come from Hoppos. I'm Rob Tell of 504 for anybody.
What's up and good morning, guys? How are you? Alex here from Hoppos with another video for you guys. And guess what we just finished doing? Well, for one, finished eating donuts, but that's besides the point. Just finished cutting up a little washer. Yeah, you guys are probably looking at it like, what is that? I don't know. It's just a washer. We just glorified a washer. We just did it. We want to do a little something custom, not just a standard washer, because this is going to be a washer that's going to be very visible in the engine bay. It's going to be one of the main washers that holds the bulkhead. Front cylinders, tubing to this. This is what's going to pretty much keep from, you know, making a dentation or chipping the paint or anything like that. But we want to make it a little glorified, of course, and put Javier's car name in here. So we just cut these out of stainless right now, and I'm super excited because, actually I'm not really excited because I hate polishing, but we don't have time to send this out to a polisher and wait because I got to get tubing in now. So that just means I'm polishing. I think this is how this works. On. Hey, what do you know? One-handed polishing is not the safest. Don't try this at home, kids. Only for YouTube. Let me put down the phone and actually let me get serious. Let me get some safety glasses on, let me get some gloves on, and let me get polishing. Okay, well, that was actually a little bit quicker than I was expecting. So, let me show you what these things turned out looking like. I still gotta clean them up, but all polished out now. Obviously, I got some fingerprints on there, but gotta get them cleaned up, get these guys cleaned up, and we gotta start marching out the firewall. Alright, I know I was working in the rear, but I wanted to get the front done because I want to get these off of here and start routing the cylinders. That way the guys can start making the custom hoses that are gonna run through the center of the center console here. But we pretty much, I think we figured out where we're gonna go on tubing wise. Got everything marked out here. Looks pretty level. I measured out 6 1/4 from the top and 7, actually, yeah, 6 1/4 from the top, and it was 7 1/8 this way. So, and I measured it from the actual hinges over, the bolt holes from the hinges over. So I know everything's looking good. I didn't have my laser level here today, which normally I would laser level this, but a good old measurement works. And don't worry, I measured twice and I could only drill once. So, wish me luck. Alright, one thing I personally noticed when doing this is kind of going against all the rules here. Normally you would ideally center punch to get your hole perfect, but I don't like doing that on anything that's already been somewhat modifying. I've learned my lesson on that, so what I like to do is I actually start off with just a really small drill bit, do not put any pressure, I just mark my hole. Normally, if you're working in this area, I like to start on this area first, because if the heater core and all that's been removed, normally this has been plated. So you're going to have, normally, you're going to have material that's slightly thicker than what's factory anyway. So in this general area right here, it's probably already been replaced, which I can confirm. It has. So I'm going to actually just start this off with a small drill bit, and then I know again this is going to sound a little funny, I actually like to work with a used, like really worn unit bit. And I like doing that, that way the edges aren't so sharp. Because if they're too sharp, what happens is it actually will grab the paint and most likely want to chip it. So we've gone ahead and put a little bit of blue tape on there. It's kind of odd saying all this, like don't use a center punch. Don't use, you know, a brand new stuff drill bit. Also, I don't like using a brand new drill bit either because if it grabs and you're going, and you go like that, you could actually chip the paint as well. So I try not to do that. So again, kind of a weird technique, but it's always working. Switching over to my not so sharp unibit. Alright, normally what I'll do here is I got my little hole here. I'm gonna leave it. The paint's not really warm, but I'm gonna let the paint cool back down. Don't want to get too hot. I'm gonna work my way over to the other side. Obviously in between that, I'm gonna double check, make sure my hole's good, but I know this is my measurement, it's normally pretty good, but I will double check just in case. Alright, so I went ahead and drilled up the other hole. I'm gonna drill up this hole now. Looks like the guy's getting a whole bunch of shipping now. I'm going to change out my small unit bit here, which is up to a 1/2 inch, I think. Yep, 1/2 inch. Put that in my pocket. Step into a slightly bigger one. Got to open it up. I found another size. Go one at a time. Got my bulkhead here to check. Too tight. All right, first hole is all done. We got the washer on. Obviously we'll get it all straightened out, get all tightened up and everything, but that looks absolutely sick. All right, let's pull tape off the other one. Now this is always the scary part, but nice and slow. Alright, not too bad. Alright, looking golden. Here is the diamond cut and shaded bulkhead that we'll be running. Here is my other washer. Alright, and just like the other side, that is looking good. I gotta get in there and put the nut on the backside real quick. No matter how many times you do that, that is always somewhat nerve-wracking. It's a little exciting and a little scary at the same time. Now, I'm one of those guys, I don't have a problem drilling a hole or cutting anything that's already done. I have no problem doing that. I've been doing it forever, and I love doing it. It actually excites me because a lot of people don't like to do it. So, but no matter what, it's always somewhat nerve-wracking to do it just because you just don't know how it's gonna react. I mean, I've had some cases to where I had to make a slightly bigger washer just because I wanted to peel back some paint. And luckily on that one, those two came out freaking perfect. All right, guys, so last night, the guy stood late and whipped up something a little custom for the 62 because while there's a few things that we looked at, I wouldn't say necessarily issues, but things that weren't so appealing to the eye. And now it's something that hasn't really been done. I mean, there used to be cylinders that looked something similar to this back in the day, but we want to make kind of a little custom touch on the cylinder just because so many people just kind of shove a cylinder in there and kind of forget about them, and they'll detail everything else minus the cylinder. So we came up with some cylinder sleeves. So the guy stood late last night and they machined up some cylinder sleeves for us, and these are going to be held in with a set screw, but this just gives a little more room for detail. Now, performance wise, it does absolutely nothing. It's all about appearance and cosmetic in this point, in this case right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the front slowdowns off, which that's what AJ's doing right now. And we're gonna be pretty much putting on the final fitting, plus getting these on and getting the front ready for tubing and final assembly, really. The only thing we're gonna have to do is take it apart to get it polished, but we wanna work our way from the front to the back. That way we don't have any issues or we don't forget anything. You guys remember that little checklist I did? Well, we're checking it off now. We're gonna make the filming as quick as possible when we're filming on the front side over here, just because we got the big Kaiser compressor right behind us, so that thing's humming in our ear, humming in your guys' ear. So, headphone users, warning, sorry. Oh wow. And in other good news, what happened? Good question. We organized the toolbox and we don't know where stuff's at. In the last few videos, we've been talking about like trying to get more organized when it comes to tools, and we did that. We went through our whole toolbox. We went through actually 5 toolboxes. We have a toolbox pretty much for every section here, and we went through it and we organized it. We went to Harbor Freight and actually bought all brand new Icon line, pretty much everything. And a lot of our old Snap-on and Matco stuff, we kind of put off into like extra toolboxes. So we have like a toolbox that Gustavo uses as a desk here. There's about 15 toolboxes behind the other CNCs. You have our big one right back here. You have this big one here. So we have toolboxes spread out to the whole shop. But now the hard part, we organize so good, we don't know where half of our stuff is sometimes. I'm sure you guys have all been there. That's why we leave our stuff messy, because we know exactly where it's at. And right now, he's searching for it. But in other good news, we have our new, let me get this box here. We got all of our rigid rock lights that just showed up as well. These showed up right before we closed yesterday. And these are the 400 lumen pure whites, and these guys are not cheap. These guys are expensive. These are the same ones I use on the Acme truck, the Acme van. I stand behind Rigid. I love Rigid product. I've been using Rigid product forever, and they're actually mini truck and lowriding guys over there as well. Even though they're into the whole rock crawler stuff, those guys are lowrider mini truck guys. So I support them, we support them, they support us. It goes all back and forth. Plus, they got great product. These lights, what do these lights run? These lights run $329 a set of 4. So, not horrible, but it is expensive. But it is well worth the money, because these are gonna outshine almost all lights. Plus, the way we're gonna be positioning these is we're using these more at a distance more than anything. So instead of running like the LED strips like everyone does, we're doing something like these to create more of a beam effect. And the reason we're doing that, you'll see, is because we need the stand to glow. So we're actually going to be placing these lights roughly about 6 inches below the stand, which ideally I would love to have more, but we don't have that space below it. But we're going to be positioning these and angling these to create the effect of a full glowing platform. And we did 4 for the bottom, 4 for the upper, or we might even do 5 for the bottom and 3 for the upper. We'll see when we get to that point. But we are trying to work our way there, because I'm excited for this part, because that means more wiring. So as we were working on the front end right now, well actually as he was working on the front end right now, I got distracted. Our good buddy Red just showed up right now, dropped off a whole bunch of tools that we had let him borrow for a SEMA build that was being worked on for Neil and for Ford. So they just brought those tools back, but of course we had to catch up on, you know, BSing and, you know, all that good stuff. So look at this, look at this. So here's those cylinder sleeves we were talking about. Again, it's all purely cosmetic. It doesn't do anything, but it gives us more room. It gives Javier more room and Mario more room to detail it, diamond cut it, engrave it. I mean, I can only picture what that little piece is gonna look like. You know, something like that. So definitely loving that. I'm super excited. Look how good that looks right there. So we're gonna get these 100% set in place, done. We got the fittings on here. Fittings are all diamond cut, shaded. Now we're just waiting on the stainless steel nuts to come back from polish. That way we can hardline this, set this back down, and get the true height of this. So that will finish up the front. Got to make the hoses for the rear, and that might be one of our next steps. I do know we got to do the rock light so we get the base stand in there too. So we'll kind of see how this video goes. Kind of just building on the fly here. So we decided to jump onto the radiator here. What we did was to do inserts to match, you know, the frame. We did inserts all in the frame just to give that extra detail. And of course, when we're building something like this, it's going to be all about the detail here. So the radiator is already polished, so I figured polished on the blue tape. This next layer here would be painted. This over here would be diamond cut and chromed. And then of course, we tossed in a little micro CNC logo. I mean, if you look at my thumb, that's how big it is. A little mini one. just for a little detail. We did the same thing here on this section here. Nice little border all the way around. And again, none of this right here is really going to be visible at all. It's just once by the time the front grille goes on, this is just going to give that little pop of color on the inside. Again, we want to think everything through and try to get as much detail in as possible. So if we get a little bit of diamond cut on this piece and a little bit of paint on this one back here, I think it's going to definitely make this stand out a little bit more. There's so much detail going on in this whole engine bay, and of course this isn't even done yet. CNC Anaheim, there's going to be, you know, they're going to be doing their thing on it. They're going to dress this up and make this really look like something. But if we could do our little touches here and there, they do their touches, Philip Feinlein does his touches, everybody does their touches, this thing will come out freaking beautiful. What I like about this too is this is a very subtle detail. Like, I mean, it's some straight lines, right? Nothing too crazy. But with this, that, the detail on the cylinders there, the detail on the firewall, those are just all little touches that, I mean, that is a one-off piece, one-off piece, one-off piece, one-off piece, all added to something that's very simple, right? So it's just those little things that make that huge difference. While we're working on that on the inside of the building, on the outside of the building, some other stuff's getting worked on as well. Got the Ram all detailed up. Got the Acme truck all detailed up. We got Yoda detailing out here, getting everything all taken care of. This thing was filthy. Did a little driving in the rain on accident. Alright guys, so we are working on trying to get the rock lights and the lights situated. I'm very picky when it comes to lighting. I hate seeing the actual light, but I want the biggest glow. The biggest problem with these rock lights, which is the rigid, these are bright. But the only issue is they're really designed to be like up high and shining down, casting down like on a 2 or 3 foot gap. We're working with maybe 4 inches, 5 inches, so we're having to get creative on how to actually get these lights to shine and project the light outwards. And also with the trunk pan being black, it's absorbing a lot of the light. So we're trying to come up with a way to make it to where we can mount these lights, have them adjustable but solid mounted, and also have a reflective surface. And I think we got the right idea. I just designed out a stand right now, which is gonna mount underneath the base stand that's already there. And what we're gonna do is, right here you can see the rock light tab. I cut them, but I didn't cut them out all the way. That way we can mount the lights through here, bend them and adjust them as we need, and twist and rotate. And also, it being aluminum, it's not gonna rust, and it actually have reflective properties to it. Alright, after a whole bunch of wiring, we got our rock light set up. This plate is pretty much a mirror image of the original plate that's down there. But the reason we did this was, for one, we can't drill into the pan, we can't weld anything, we can't do any brackets. I didn't want to run a whole bunch of self-tappers or anything like that, or nuts and bolts. So we were able to come up with a base stand that would mount directly underneath the other one. But the reason we did it with these little pull tabs is so we could adjust and direct the lighting in any which way we want to. So we did that. We just got it wired up to the battery charger. Now, moment of truth. Oh yeah. That's bright. Definitely bright. Alright, so here is it just, it's just slid underneath for right now. We still gonna mount it. It's gonna sit roughly right around that area, probably about a 1/4 inch higher than this, but this is what it'll look like. So it definitely has a nice glow to it. And we did it with these lights like this, that way all the engraving will all light up with it as well. So again, I know you guys won't really ever see this because the upholstery will cover this, but we wanted to do this because it was honestly one of the best ways to do it. And we're able to control the beam of the light as well. So you can kind of see, here's the light. I'm able to rotate it and spin it just to light it up exactly how we want. And of course we want the name of the car to be lit up. We want the California Upholstery logo to be lit up. All that to be lit up perfect. Well guys, everything's looking so freaking good. We were making good progress. Not as much as we would really like, but beggars can't be choosers. I mean, I'm happy with the time frame that we're working with, and look at that glow in that thing. Right now we're lit up. I mean, we got skylights, we got a whole bunch of LED lights right above us, and this thing is just glowing. So I'm very excited. Obviously once upholstery goes in, it'll get covered up, and it'll actually produce more light. It'll be funneled up into the stand. But we got that done. We got the cylinder sleeves done. We got the fittings on. Obviously bulkheads are all done. We got the inserts on the top side, the inserts on the front side all done. We wired up all the stuff underneath the stand. Everything's pre-wired. We're ready to go for next week. So next week is gonna be go time on this. A lot of work, a lot of late nights coming up, possibly even coming up this weekend. We might be working this weekend on this thing, which I'm not a fan of, but we gotta do it, we gotta do it. But for right now, thank you guys for always liking, sharing, subscribing. We'll have a lot more of this 62 coming on the channel. So I appreciate you guys all, love you guys all. We'll see you guys next time.
Rob Tell on the track. Hop in the whip and I hit these switches. See that chrome suspension. Look at the car, you know who did it. I don't have to mention. They know it's Alex from Hoppos. Custom work come from Hoppos. I'm Rob Tell of 504. For anybody that gotta know, Alex stay with fresh content and he keep it coming like a slideshow. Never cut corners far as I know, but he cut metal with his eyes closed. Control arms, reinforced frames, still killing the game. You see the gun smoke from Impalas with the X-frame, doing tricks like it came from the X game. Everybody gotta tune in for the next thing.